all that. Very disheartened and defeated Gino Jimenez there, talking about the massive impact on the sector. I should also mention that there is a demonstration, as you know, going on outside your office, about 80 to 100 people demonstrating against these restrictions. Mr. Jimenez mentioned the manner in which these restrictions were introduced, no consultation. What's your response to that?
Look, I know Gino Jimenez well. I've spoken to him this afternoon. I know that he fully understands, as he has said, why we've had to do what we've had to do, how we've had to do it, because if he had 3 hours notice of this, the government had 3.5 hours notice of it in order to have to make that decision. We did not choose to do this in this way. We were inevitably with that fork in the road that I've told you about earlier. But look, I know Gino well enough, and I know the people in the catering industry in Gibraltar well enough to know that they will turn that dejection into determination, and they will once again be providing the food and drink that we all love in Gibraltar. We will be looking carefully at how we can help them. But you have to understand, this is the last thing we wanted to do. When I went to the office this morning, I expected to be dealing with Brexit issues, which are coming on the boil, not to have to close all of our catering establishments in the early afternoon for 7 o'clock. And I know that people will understand that when they consider this more carefully. As for the demonstration, look, I think the demonstration is not the sort of responsible reaction that you have seen from someone like Gino Jimenez for the Catering Association. I think it is entirely irresponsible. It is in breach of the COVID rules for gatherings. And unfortunately, I don't think it's conducive to anything positive happening other than potentially creating another vector for infection.
OK, we're just seeing images of the demonstration there outside number 6. Can you just give us some detail, if you can, about the compensation measures you are planning? I mean, are these restaurant owners going to be compensated 100% for what they have lost this season?
We need to understand how we've structured compensation in the period of the full lockdown and how we're going to structure it now. We need to understand how it is that we can create a package for this period, and we need to understand how we can do that in a way that is fair and in keeping, because it's not yet the 31st of December, in keeping with European state aid rules, because there are rules which the European Commission has published about how you can create compensation measures to deal with COVID and how you will be outside of that. And there are issues about notification, etc. We'll be looking very carefully at these things as early as possible next week. I've spoken to Gino already about meeting next week to try and structure the package. Look, I think we have a record this year that we can point to of having paid massive amounts of compensations to all businesses in Gibraltar. We've designed a package now in particular for the catering industry, even before this, which we've been talking to them about, and we will no doubt be able to come to an agreement on how we can provide for them. Because, look, we fully understand this festive season is the season they rely on as they start to trade into the next year, and they rely on in the fallow months, which next year are likely to be even more fallow than they are usually. So this is absolutely something that we have to help them through. OK, Mr.
Picardo, finally, you did mention Brexit. We're all waiting for the white smoke. Can you just give us an update? Where are we at the moment?
Well, look, I can tell you that the chimneys are not yet loaded with the wood that will tell you whether it's white or black smoke. That's the reality. That's what I am trying to deal with. This file is the file that contains the latest draft of the documents that we are looking at. The Attorney General, the Deputy Chief Minister, Financial Secretary and I are 100% involved in ensuring that we get this right. There could be nothing to make me happier than to be able to tell you that we have reached an arrangement in respect of Gibraltar with the United Kingdom, Spain and the European Commission. I'm not able to tell you that yet. The consequences of not reaching such an arrangement are, as you know, very complex for Gibraltar, and we're now 13 days away.
Are you expecting to work throughout the weekend on that?
That would not be unusual given what the reality of my job entails in any weekend. And this weekend in particular, I expect there will be more email and WhatsApp traffic, which is, by the way, the language of diplomacy these days is WhatsApp, than there is at most times. And I sincerely hope that one of those WhatsApps will be the final resolution of this issue.